Hey, friends. Oh my gosh, we got it without a whole lot of hoopla, except I've got to move my camera. It's a little here, maybe that. You don't need to see the top of my head, right? It's all good. Good morning. Excuse me. So welcome to the Tuesday YouTube Live. Hopefully we can keep the dogs from barking. We'll just have to see about that because the lawn people are here and get very excited. Indeed. Today we are going to do the Bija mantra, or talk about the Bija mantra for the root chakra. The root chakra, using this amazing book, Run, Don't Walk, to get it, Chakra Yoga. It's on Amazon, I checked, and it is amazing. And Adea is just a foremost voice in really chakra psychology, and I love her definition of the chakras. 7 keys to awakening the divine within. Really, the chakras, each of them govern a different part of human existence. Let's put it that way. It's how I like to look at it. The root is about survival, safety, security, feeling those things in your body and feeling grounded, right? So you're in this body. Obviously, a lot of people, there's that saying, like, we're not human beings having a spiritual experience, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And I think that there is a lot of merit to that. So, being grounded, I think traditionally there's been maybe a schism between being spiritual and perhaps being successful, or being grounded. Spiritual people can kind of be up in their head, kind of crown chakra-y stuff, because they have that awareness, maybe naturally, or maybe they developed it. But a lot of my work is actually, because I'm an embodiment teacher, it's about being grounded in the body, right? And not being grounded like you can't go to the movies because you didn't do your homework kind of thing. But so when we work with the Bija sounds, those are the seed mantras for each of the chakras. There are 7 major ones. You can look up the chakra system. It's got, apparently I think we do have a lot more than 7, but the 7 major ones along the spine, kind of core ones, that by sounding through them or chanting through them, you can help release any blockages there. So I want to see what the chakra 1 is Muladhara. It's root support, Muladhara. It has a yantra, this beautiful lotus flower looking fella. And so when you're deficient in this type of energy or this type of grounding, right? The principles that guide it are gravity and solidity, and it gives foundation, support, and stability to your life. And it's grounded, solid, and steadfast. How about that? Those are some great things. The body parts that it governs are the legs, the feet, the bones, and the large intestine. A lot of times when we're talking about grounding, going out to grass and putting your feet on the grass, right? And in my yoga training, I loved when we would work the feet. I had a really great teacher that taught me how to do that. There's 4 corners of your feet, to right, on the balls of your feet, one under the big toe, and then one kind of nearer to the pinky side. And then if you trace that back to your heels, you've got 2 there. So it's really working the feet, spreading the toes, touching the earth or even the floor, and you feel this sense of grounding. I like how she puts opening the leg channels. Isn't that great? What I think yoga does beyond anything at any other type of exercise, even stretching, although stretching I think can approach it, is you're opening energetic channels. You're not just doing calisthenics, you're not just stretching. If it's done right and you're really feeling the energy in your body, then you can really open those channels in a way that just regular exercise won't do. And you get that sense of the energy. And to be able to feel that in your own body is quite extraordinary. So we work with this quite a bit, this sense of extending down. We did it last week where you extend, this sense of connection, this rooting downward energetically out the out the soles of your feet and out your sitting bones. And it's great. And also feel the strength of your own legs, kind of like trunks on a tree. It gives you, I think, an internal strength, this steadfastness, this stability in your own awareness in your own body, in your own being. And it's just great for, obviously, for grounding, for, it's great when your mind is going 1,000 miles an hour, just to work through your feet, feel the strength of your legs, feel that connection and that energy. So, and each chakra has a masculine, feminine part, and each chakra is more or less one or the other in terms of looking at the whole 7 of them. So the first, third, fifth chakras are masculine. The second, fourth, and sixth are feminine. And then the 7th is the master Om, bringing the masculine, feminine together. Because we have all of them in each of us, right? We have masculine and feminine energy in each of us. It's interesting that the first, third, and fifth are masculine. The first one being stability. You can kind of look maybe more at men, and they can be kind of more stable, not necessarily emotionally, but they can just be more chill about things, the day-to-day things. In my humble, in my limited experience, they, at least the ones I know, there's not, the stability perhaps comes a little bit easier in terms of, there's the long guy, just in terms of the day-to-day. And a lot of times men, it's very easy for them to see their worth, especially in the professional fields, whereas for women, sometimes that's harder. And I think, at least when I look at it through the chakra lens, it has to do with them sort of governing this first chakra. And the third chakra is solar plexus, that's the will. And then the fifth chakra is the throat, the voice. And, a lot of times women, we can lose our voice, let's say psychologically, metaphorically. And it seems like perhaps in part it's because that natively is governed by masculine energy. Second, fourth, and sixth, the second is the sacral, chakra. That's about play and about feeling good and about procreation. The fourth is the heart, about love and wisdom. Fabulous. And the sixth is the third eye. That's intuition. So you hear about women's intuition and, how we kind of know things like, oh, what's going on there? So it's a very interesting play. When you think about how the first chakra manifests in the masculine way, Anadea says it's roots penetrating earth, pushing energy into matter. That's cool. You think about the steadfastness of getting something into fruition. I think what calls it into fruition is perhaps a feminine principle, but what moves it steadfastly to becoming form is masculine. And that, again, we have both of these. It doesn't mean men are doing it. It's the energy behind it. The masculine tends to be a simpler, more linear energy. And the masculine part of the root chakra is about pushing that energy into matter, day by day, engineering it, Bob the Builder type energy. The feminine is you draw nutrients up from the earth. You're drawing the energy from the matter. You're receiving the nutrients up from the roots. You can push down to ground, and then you pull up to receive the energy, that nutrients that the universal energy gives us, beyond the nutrients from our food, also important, but energetically nutritious is pulling up, and it's very, very cool. So when you're deficient, you're scattered, right? Ungrounded, maybe underweight, maybe like ephemeral is what Anadea is saying, kind of if you've seen kind of the stereotype of the flighty woo-woo personality, real spiritual, usually lovely, loving, but kind of scattered all over the place. And if it's excessive, you're overweight, you're lethargic. But a balanced form of this is just beautiful form and stability. It's a glorious, glorious thing. Excuse me. So, she says the first step to opening your inner temple is to step across the threshold and truly enter the realm of your body. You must fully occupy your temple to open its gateway to the divine. So, well said, well said. Again, I think this is what yoga or chanting, both, but in the West, because yoga can fall into physical exercise in our mind, whereas where it was created, it was to open the body energetically and get out stagnant energy so that the practitioners could sit for a long time in meditation. A little different purpose is there. But yoga is a great entry, even if it's done in a non-spiritual way. Here in the West, a lot of gyms will offer it. And, that's a great way to at least feel different parts of your body that maybe you haven't previously. So, and then chanting, because it's sound, because it's more in the subtle realms. Sound is, kind of more subtle, and really the chakras are in the subtle body. They're energetically, their energy, basically, the subtle body. And They do align with endocrine glands, the glandular system. There's often a gland, or always a gland associated with them, except for really the root chakra, which is for men, found in the perineum. For women, there's two different places. It can either be the perineum or inside the cervix, or the cervix actually, but deep in the pelvis, where you're feeling that area. If you stand up, I'm not going to, but you can stand up and place your feet on the ground and, really spread them, really spread your toes, really feel your feet and feel the four corners of your feet, right? And you can do this sitting too, but just imagine first rooting down, feeling that connection, feeling your weight of your legs, and then pulling up energetically all the way through your legs into that deep place in your pelvis, either the perineum, which is between the sex organs and the anus, right? It's that thick skin there. Feel that rise come into the pelvis. So Muladhara, which is the Sanskrit term for root chakra, it means root support or foundation. So it's like you plug your feet in, and with your intention, you root into the earth and then pull in the energy. And, even if it's just intention, even if at first you don't feel it, eventually you will. You feel, you intend to feel that rising up of energy. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So let's do that for just a moment. Just place your feet on the floor. If you want to stand, you can. And allow your feet to really feel the weight of your body, right? To really hold you. If you're sitting, I always say the sitting bones are like the feet of the pelvis. Plug those in. Imagine plugging in what you're plugging into is the sense of stability and groundedness, and really the magnetic pull of the earth, right? Like you would plug your computer into the wall. You're plugging into an energy source. And feel that plug in, and then inhale and intend to feel the energy that comes from that socket. And that socket is the earth's energy, the divine energy. When you plug in, going back to that, feel the energy lines that come down from the top of the head all the way down the spine, and then split and go down your legs, out the bottom of your feet. This is energy line, right? All the way through the ground, down into the core of the earth. You're that rooted, you're that stable and steadfast. And then from that place down in the core, intend to feel that energy come back up through your legs, through your pelvis, swirl around your pelvis area. We do this a lot when we bathe the brain. But we're doing it now for the pelvis area, the large intestine. Feeling grounded by it. Then allow that from there to come up your spine, wash your major organs, really, your small intestine, pancreas, liver, stomach, lungs, heart, chest, shoulders, neck, throat, up and out through the top of your head. And then just open your eyes. Take a moment just to notice how you feel. Do you, or, maybe not much has changed, but you've just gotten a sense of these energy lines and this sense of plugging in to something, and using that as a visual is great. You plug into an energy socket, right? And just using that visual can really help to give you that sense of that energy and the power of your own energy system in your legs and feet. And there's obviously other parts, but yes, it's very, very good. So on Thursday, we're going to learn the Bija mantra chant for the root chakra. And I will give you some of it now. It is lum, lum. We'll also do the resonant sound for it. Remember, with the resonant sounds, you clear first, and then you can clear out any blockages, and then you do the sound, the Bija sound for the stimulation. So you clear out blockages, and then you stimulate that area, and it helps to balance the energy of that area. So, if you're unbalanced in this root chakra, maybe you're having a hard time supporting yourself, or feeling, holding your ground in arguments, or, feeling stable and worthy. It's a great thing to do, to chant, lum, have that be your chant for a week, and see what happens with your journal. So lum is the Bija sound, and then O, as in road, is the clearing sound, the resonant sound. So we're going to work with those on Thursday. It's going to be quite lovely, I hope, for you. And bring your journal, and we'll do some journaling afterwards. And until then, I just kicked my dog, sorry. When you can, stretch your toes, feel your feet, roll out your ankles, feel your legs, and play with this idea of, throughout the day, especially if you're feeling tired. I will stand and just kind of bounce on my legs just to feel them and feel that plugging in. And, notice, movement's always super important, but playing with the energy behind the movement is also super important. So thank you so much for being here on our first day without tech difficulties. So it's very, very, very exciting. It's a milestone. Rub your hands together. We'll close here. Hand over your right hand over your heart, left hand over your right, and just breathing, rooting. See, I have a tendency to pitch forward. I think we all do. You move the spine back so that you feel, lovely. So set an intention for your day if you haven't already. the edges of your mouth curve upward in a little smile. Notice what that does energetically. Feel your legs, feel your bottom, feel your pelvis, the area deep. Feel that connection there to the earth. Muladhara, first chakra. You have to root to rise is another teaching from my yoga training. You have to root down first, then pull the energy up. You can't have liberation without foundation, without stability. All right. Thank you so much for being here today. I really, really appreciate it. Please come back on Thursday. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, so we can build our subscriber base, and you can turn on notifications. That would be fabulous. We're here Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Central and Thursdays at 5 p.m. Central. So thank you very much. Have a lovely, lovely couple days, and I'll see you Thursday.